Welcome back, everyone, to the topic of the week. And the topic of the week this week is anticipated anxiety. What do I mean by anticipated anxiety? So, I'm sure if you are struggling or are affected by anxiety, you may be overthinking and thinking about situations or predicting situations, especially negative ones. So let's give an example. I have anxiety. Hypothetically, I have anxiety and I am thinking about meeting up with some friends, but I have social anxiety. So the thought process will be something along these lines. I'm going to feel anxious. I'm going to feel nervous. I won't feel comfortable. I might as well just not go because I'm already anticipating that form of anxiety, which is horrible, right? It's already bad enough to have anxiety and to be affected by it. But then on top of that, stopping yourself from living your life to the fullest because of the fear of anxiety, anticipating it. So why do we have this? Why are we affected by this on top of everything else? When we are anxious, we feel nervous, we feel unsafe, we feel unsettled. So one of the first responses for you to do is to keep you safe and for you to overthink. What are the first solutions that we can find, right? So if the thought of you going into the pub, the restaurant, meeting friends in the park, or going anywhere is causing you to feel unsafe, it's causing you to feel anxious, then your mind is going to do everything possible to stop you from doing that because it wants to keep you alive, right? It wants to keep you safe. It wants to make you feel secure. And being with your friends, being in a restaurant, being in a public space makes you feel unsafe and makes you feel anxious. It's going to stop you from going there. So anticipating that anxiety is actually your mind trying to keep you safe. But it's actually doing the opposite because if anything, we don't feel safe when we have anxiety, right? And there's something else actually. I'd love you to just feel within yourself, look within yourself, and try to see if there's some kind of secondary gain that you may gain from actually having anxiety. So I've noticed that there are certain people, some of my clients, that have used this as an excuse. It's very good to, it's very easy to say, I'm quite an anxious person. I can't do this and this and this. I can't go there and there, which stops you from having any kind of responsibility for maybe meeting up with people or going to a meeting because you have anxiety. So it can be used as an excuse. Sometimes I'm not saying that you purposely chose to have anxiety, right? It's a horrible feeling. It is crippling and you suffer a lot. And I really identify, I also suffered with anxiety, so I know what that feels like. But what would be great is if you could just take that ego out, pop that ego bubble, and swallow your pride and just look within yourself and say, am I gaining anything from having anxiety? Do I use that as an excuse at times? Even if you do feel anxious, I just mean, is there something that you're benefiting from having this anxiety? If you truly don't, that's absolutely fine. If there is something, then see if you can work with this. Let's say that your secondary gain for having anxiety is that you will then not feel safe. If you didn't have anxiety and you went out into the supermarket and you didn't overthink, then maybe you wouldn't be safe. How could we change that around? We could flip that around by strengthening this role. So this anxiety doesn't need to be anxiety. It can be something to strengthen your intuition. So if we meditate a lot, if we heal, if we do the inner work, if we find out what the causes are for the anxiety, for the fear of anxiety, we can then release that or change this part of you that you consider as the anxiety and change it into something positive. For example, giving you more confidence. A lot of people, a lot of my clients that have anxiety are actually very insecure and have a fear of judgment, fear of abandonment, a fear of rejection, all these fears. Fears make you feel unsafe. Fears make you feel unprotected and exposed. And that's what anxiety is. It's just a symptom from something so much deeper. And we want to find out what that is, because when I do RTT on my clients, it really is mind-boggling. Some of the reasons and some of the imprints that my clients have had in their past, in their childhood, that cause them to have this fear. So what do we do in an RTT session? I'm sure if you follow me on YouTube or if you watch these YouTube videos, you will know the sort of structure of an RTT session. And it's basically, we're going to regress you. We're going to go back to a scene, to a memory, to the cause, the root, the reason of the fear of anxiety, the feelings of rejection, whatever it is that is affecting you. And we will find out by having a discovery call, you and me. It's a free call where you get to ask me anything that you'd like to know about therapy, about anxiety, not just anxiety. I work with all sorts of issues. You know, we've actually recently did a prep session for someone who wanted to have a termination because it was their choice. And that is also something that I work with, because I feel that I don't just want to work on one topic. Yes, I specialize in anxiety, and yes, I love helping people free themselves from it, because it's you really who does the freeing. I'm just your guide. I'm just guiding you through the RTT session safely and securely, but you're the one who gets the understanding of why you have this anxiety and how you can release it. And you're the one who then lets it go. You have a choice. And there's certain people that get a bit apprehensive, a bit nervous, a bit anxious when they think of hypnosis, because they think, oh, she can control my mind. She's going to make me fall in love with a lamppost. I'm going to start saying weird stuff. I won't be able to say this number again. But I don't do that kind of hypnosis. I am not a hypnotist. I am a hypnotherapist. And the only reason I want to hypnotize you is to help you, and you will be fully aware of everything that is said in the hypnotherapy session, because you'll be able to remember everything, because the trance is very gentle, it's light. Some people do go into deeper trances, others go into lighter ones. That really depends on each person, but you will remember the session, and that's the beauty of it. I want you to remember the session, because I want you to remember all the scenes, the epiphanies, and the situations that have awoken you to being able to let go of the anxiety. So I am losing my train of thought here. So let's center back to what we do in an RTT session. We will do regression. That's just one tiny part of it. And then we will speak to the anxiety. You will be able to let it go. On top of that, we're going to reconnect you with your inner child. And that sounds a bit woo-woo, but it's actually not. It's actually a beautiful way for you to become your own source of love. Because a lot of us, we depend. I won't be happy until I have my boyfriend. I won't be happy if my sister doesn't give me attention. I won't be happy if my dad doesn't tell me he's proud of me. All of these reasons, that none of these people should have any influence on your happiness, on your stability, on your security, on your protection. You need to be your biggest fan. You need to be your loving parent to yourself. You need to be your own source of happiness and love. What if that boyfriend, that girlfriend, that husband, that wife doesn't give you that attention? What, does your world then crumble? Yes, and it causes us anxiety, the fear of not being loved. He's not responding. She's not responding to me. That must mean that she doesn't love me. And that causes anxiety on top of that. And it causes a fear of anxiety as well. We don't want that. I know you don't want it, and I don't want it either. And that's why in an RTT session, we will also eliminate any of these negative beliefs. We're going to remove and release this part of you that overthinks, that overanalyzes everything. It's great to overanalyze at times, but not consistently throughout life. It is exhausting, it's tiring, and it doesn't actually benefit us. If anything, it just wears us out. So are you ready? Are you ready to let go of anxiety? Are you ready to let go of fears of rejection, abandonment, and so on? Because I am ready to hold you, to support you emotionally in every single way. And if you'd like to book your free discovery call, please do so on my website, leliahypnosis.com. I'm so excited to meet you. And you can always send me a Facebook message or any kind of social media message. I will respond as soon as I possibly can. Have the most amazing, relaxing, and calm day. Bye-bye.